Okay, I put the lagging on the tube, which is basically a string that's wrapped around it. It's been basically spackle. That's what I used. And I got the screw out of it. I'm going to go ahead and make a knob for the end. I started on that over here, and I got it over on the mill here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 5 holes in it around the to make it look like spokes. So I'm going to set the camera up here and get this set up, and then I will be back. Okay, I'm going to enter a 5-hole pattern into my readout. I'm sitting at 0. Well, a 10th. It jumped to 10th, but so I'm going to hit the bolt hole pattern. Center is going to be a 0, and I figured it's going to be 4" 500 diameter. So 4 inches 500 or 450 diameter, 4 inches, and 5 holes. Starting angle is going to be at 0, which would be over here, be over there, and the ending angle would be up. Divide 360 by 5, 72, subtract 72, so it'll be 288. And there's the number 1 hole location. All right, so we can move to, I'm gonna put the camera somewhere here where I can still, I'm using the other camera, by the way, too, so it's, all right, so I want to go to 225 on X, which sounds right. Oops. So actually I turned it to 0. I was started to turn it to 225. So each time you hit for the next hole, you crank your readout back to 0. So now I need to decide what's that diameter hole I want to put in here for the spokes. I didn't find a drill for that. Probably about a 3/16. Let's see if I can find a short 3/16 carbide. Might have one here. I gotta find calipers. Nope, it's too big. Too big. That one's too big. This one's 225 or 206. And if I go in there with that, that might work. I'm going to use that. I think it's a 207. Put these drills away so I don't spill them. All right, so that way we won't need this. We will not need the center drill. We just go right in there with a carbide. That'll be close enough to on location. All right, let's give her a whirl. I was going to turn my quill stop up, but that's okay. So then we'll go hit that down arrow down button. Number 2 hole is going to be over at 155. So we crank it back to 0s. Crank the readout back to the 0s. And that should put us on location for the 2nd hole. Right there. And then the down arrow again. Put it back on zeros. I've used this whole pattern thing a couple times now, and it works pretty good. Next, the only thing is I keep forgetting which arrow to push up or down, but that's no big deal. It tells you what hole you're on. Alright. Last hole. I should explain what I done on the lathe. I had it on the lathe and I trepanned the center out, drilled and tapped a hole for the size screw that's going in there, and then I radiused it with a file a little bit, and that's about all I've done to it. So now we're back, ready to go back over to the lathe and continue. I'll part it off and we'll machine the other side with it on the screw, I'm hoping. Anyway, so we gotta take this out of here, get back in the lathe. All right, and I'll move the camera back over to the lathe. And we want to focus on that spot right there. I'm picking the spots that I want it to focus on. I don't know if that's going to help or not. Really, I've mentioned it a few times. I'm disappointed in that camera. It's not like my old HG camera. I've seen a few used ones for sale on eBay, and I keep getting tempted to buy one. Tighten it up. There we go. Oop. So now we just want a part off blade. And you got this blade right here. I've been offering the drawing package for this tool post online. I've offered it many years ago for free. Well, now I see somebody is selling it. So I don't know, pretty sure. I don't know, I haven't seen the drawings, but I'm suspecting it's mine, my drawing, but I can't prove that, so. But anybody that wants that drawing package for that though, I'll send them the PDF if they want it. It's, this tool post, this tool holder will repeat. If I take a turning tool out and put it back in there, it's going to be within a half a thou. And what it does is it pulls it back against this. When I flip that lever up, it pulls it back against that tight. And as long as you keep that clean back there, it repeats. Now the other button type, they don't repeat as well. The reason for that is it comes out and pushes like that, so it can move around like that. So it doesn't repeat they don't repeat as well. This one repeats. This dial repeats much better. That's my opinion anyway. Take it for what it's worth. I know there's probably some out there that are gonna go, oh no, no, no. But over my years of experience in the shop, this style, that's why they put this style on a tooling lathe. All right, so this is, I couldn't remember. I was thinking it was 100. It's 90. 90 thou part off blade. 90, 93 really. So we're gonna go that distance, and then I have one here that, and the overall width is about 135. So we're gonna go 130. Lock the carriage. I get my squirt bottle, and we'll see if we can part that off. Speed than that. That is, we're only doing 270. Let's go to C3. Little chatter now. Should be dropping off there in a second. Okie dokie. Unlock my carriage. Pick that up. And I'm going to go in and trepan part of this. I'm going to leave a hub in the inside though, this time. And to do that, I'm going to put it on the screw and get the right length and everything, though. Let's see, how am I going to do that? I want to do this. Actually, I'm not going to use the screw that I have the point on. I'm going to go get another 832 screw that in there, and then put it in a collet. And I wonder if I have any ready rod. Well, I guess I can do it this way too. Well, I'll come back once I figure out exactly how I'm going to do this. Okay, I have some short pieces of screw that I cut off, and I have this collet that I grip on screws to cut them off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to thread that into the, I threaded it through the collet that I have. We're going to thread it into the handle. And I'm going to thread this up against that. And then we're going to put it in a collet. And put it in a 5C collet here. And once I grip on it, it'll grip that screw. And I should be able to do some light turning on it. There we go. And the tool that I used for tree panning, well, I'll use a different tool because I want to go on the inside and out. So I'm going to put a different tool in here. All right, let's see if I can find something to tree pan that with. Actually, a grooving tool is what I need. I did have some tools that I ground up for tree panning, but I don't remember what I done with them. Small ones. Ain't finding it. You know, I know I've had several of them for doing that kind of stuff. And I ground up for one of my steam engines. That one's too big. Ah, here's a small one. I think I used this one for making spark plugs. A grooving tool. Here's another one. Well, I can take this wider one. I just got to be careful with it. Here we go. Here we go. Found a shorter one that I ground up. It ground out of a high-speed tool bit. It's hanging out there a ways, but that's okay. We'll just be careful with it. And I'll clamp that in. Whoop. Move it back a little bit. There we go. And height looks okay. So we're going to give her a whirl here. I should almost be using my other camera now. This will be the back side of it. Ooh. I think that's all I'm going to do right there. It wasn't much, but it was hardly worth looking for a tool. And I'm going to move this out of the way, and then I'm just going to hit it with a file, try to file a little bit of a radius on it. And whoop. Get the file. And I'm just going to kind of file a radius on it a little bit. Knife. Try to go inside here a little bit. All right. Now, oh, tightened up on there pretty good. Take and leave it out a little ways. Let's see if I can. Oh, let's see if I can mar it all up with the pliers. Here we go. So now it'll be the back side. So here's the screw that goes into that boiler. We got to get it in the right location. Need to get a screwdriver and turn that in. I'll turn it in and then I'll find out where I got to cut it off at. Probably use that same collet here. Or bushing, I should say. It's not really a collet, it's a bushing. It's a threaded bushing. Alright, let's go over to the surface plate. And we'll see where this has got to thread into, how far. So what we want to do is thread that in carefully. Right there's bottomed out. Right about where I had it set. This is where I want to cut it off at. So let's see. Take a magic marker and it's like magic. A magic marker. And I'm going to mark on both sides of the and then we'll take that back out of there. And we'll cut that screw off. Okay. Spin that off. And I'll Loctite that on here when I could Loctite it, or I could solder it. Maybe I'll solder it. All right, we'll back over here. Back over to the lathe. Now, I'll take that bushing out. Take that little piece of screw that I saved out. See, that's why I save these little pieces of screws for kind of things like this. Thread that on. And it's the second mark up here by the head of the screw. That's where we want to cut it off. So we'll turn this all the way in up to that point. Right there. That's about where we want to cut it off. Take and put that in there again. Lock it. I'm going to take this grooving tool out of there. I really didn't use it. What I did. Put that away so I can't find it next time. Now, part of. I want the wider one. Bring that over here. All right. I want more RPM than that. Okay, and now I want to file that little nub off where it broke off. That's good enough. It might have thread. Looks like it almost looks like it might have threaded in about a half a turn or so. Didn't have it locked tight enough, but that's okay. It just means it'll be just a tad bit longer. Put that in the bin. What did I do with my handle? And what I'll do is I will take and solder that in place. I'll put that on there and I'll hit it with some solder. First I'll clean it. So I'm going to clean this up, and then it's just going to be soft solder. I'm not, although I should silver solder that. I think it will. I think I'll put a little silver solder on it. So I'll be back when I get her done. Okay, silver soldered it. It doesn't look too bad. So that should thread right in there now. Should be about the right length that I want. Okay, let's put some air to it. got just a couple pounds. Ta-da! I've got about 10 pounds to it now. What's left is the pressure relief, and then we're done. That handle looks nice on there. All right, I'll be back when I'm working on pressure relief.